As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't even exist. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, all the prequels don't exist. This thing goes from New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Simple. All the other stuff doesn't mean, I don't even talk about it. It never happened. Let alone this thing. I don't, what I just don't understand is like, why? Like, what? This industry, you've already made so much money, so you don't need the money. Okay, so forget that. What is this about? Like, what is the impetus to actually go in and just destroy this thing? Because people say, oh, you know what, it's about kids. Listen, I was a kid when I watched the first movie. Okay, so it shows that kids can appreciate quality. I can watch New Hope today and still look at it as a quality piece of art and a quality film. And when I was a kid, I didn't understand all the themes in it, but I could still appreciate it as quality. Nobody was and that's actually why it was so good. Star Wars didn't patronize kids. It didn't patronize you by saying that, oh, you know what, you're just little children who do not understand anything. So we're going to give you New Hope, Empire, and Jedi as if you're just kids who don't know any better and will just throw out some crap at you and whatever. No, it wasn't done that way. It was done in a very it was a very respectful, so that as you grew up, you could continue to appreciate the material. What is this now? Are you trying to say that kids of the 2000s or the 90s are dumb? That's the reason why they deserve Phantom Menace and Attack of the Killer Clones and Revenge of the Vengeful Sith. Is that the reason why? Or kids now are so stupid that the only thing they can appreciate is some bloody Saturday morning Cartoon Network extended version of Clone whatever. Listen, first of all, it doesn't even make sense that this is actually existing on its own, because the Clone Wars was supposed to be in the prequels, the movies. Somehow you conspired to actually skip the Clone Wars in the movies and now put it in a cartoon. How the hell did that happen? Though everybody who's a Star Wars fan, it went even beyond expectation. It was like a foregone conclusion that the prequels was going to cover the Clone Wars. It was going to cover the killing of all the Jedis by Darth Vader, going to cover his fall to the dark, all of these things. It was a foregone conclusion. So how did you manage to go through the equivalent of what, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 or so hours plus of movie and not cover that stuff and then give it to us in a cartoon in 2008? What the hell? It doesn't make any sense. And what's crazy is that some people are actually trying to justify it and accept it. No, it doesn't make sense. You know, and I've already touched on like the idea that, oh, it's his thing and blah, blah. He's been so gracious to give it to us and to share it with us that we should be grateful. What? That's not how the movie business and this stuff works. If you're a musician, you make music for an audience. If you build up an audience based on the music you've created, like your classical, like Mozart made all this stuff and built up his audience, then he started making punk rock and delivered a punk rock album as his whatever symphony. His fans of his classical are justified in saying that, what the hell is Mozart doing? You're supposed to be making classical. Why are you making punk? What is this? That's the point. It doesn't make any sense, people. Star Wars fans deserve a lot more than they've been given. It is I actually feel sorry for myself as a Star Wars fan, and I've now jumped the boat. I'm not on the boat anymore. I'm sorry for all the Star Wars fans that are still holding out. It's very unfortunate. And all I can say, it's one of the biggest tragedies of any great franchise in history. What's happened to Star Wars? It's one of the greatest tragedies because it is such an amazing franchise. Nothing comes close to what those 3 films were. You can talk about your Lord of the Rings, Matrix. Matrix was fantastic. Lord of the Rings, fantastic. Dark Knight and Batman Begins. Compared it to Star Wars? Star Wars is it's a cultural phenomenon. It's like a thing, you know? People live their lives by it. So it's incomparable to how great it was. So the fact that something like that could be taken down by the person who actually made it makes no sense. And do you know what the irony is, people? And I'm going to leave this off as a final note. The only person who could actually destroy Star Wars is the person that's actually done it. Nobody else could. George Lucas is the only person who could have done this much damage to a franchise that was so indestructible. And unfortunately, he's actually the one who did it. Anyway, guys, that's what I've got to say. And, this video is really about explaining why there is basically a boycott of Star Wars The Clone Wars by a lot of fans, a hell of a lot of fans. I've been on all the boards, been on IMDb, been all over the place, talking to guys and everything. And it's like, it's actually pretty unanimous. It's like, I mean, there's a very small group of people who are trying to argue for it. But like, most of the fans is like, guys, we've been fans for ages and like, we're old guys now. Are you trying to say just throw them out with the rubbish and try and make things for, what? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, what do you do? The only thing you can do is just basically just forget about it and just not watch the stuff anymore. It's very sad. It really, really is depressing. That's it. As always, www.talkbackworld.net is the website. The Merc Have Hope, we're always on there. To all the talkbackers, I'd like to say, good stuff. Love the debates that's going on the website. It's always good. Real fans, and I just wanted to address this because I know a lot of people have been wondering why there hasn't been an official talkback on Star Wars, and it's just, I cannot bring myself to do it. I can't. It's just such a damaged situation. So close to, it hits too close to home. It's like I can't talk about it. It's so bad. Anyway, guys, Bay out, Spielberg in.